So, what's your take then on removing statues? It's that if the statue was made post Civil War, it's for spite, and if it was before it, it's historical. You are pro keeping Jefferson statues. Are you also pro listening still to R. Kelly songs?
I feel like we need to move on to question 2. And here it is.
Really? Well,
I think we do, Josh.
Hello and welcome back to Trivial. It's your bar trivia night in a podcast. We're covering pop culture, sports, current events, and everything else in the form of trivia questions.
That's right. Each week we hit you with 5 topics, and here's the catch. None of us know the answers ahead of time.
Not us, not our guest, Professor Andrew Burstein, not even you. So we're
No
all in it
relation.
together. Yeah, exactly. We'll throw out our best guesses. We'll debate a bit and probably embarrass ourselves before revealing the correct answer.
And Andy, any of us cheat this week, we have to admit that it's not December 37th, as I've come dressed as today. It's actually January. It's actually 2026.
Yeah, what I was going to say is by forcing me to use my given name, it spoils the effect because I was going to ask your viewers whether they knew which of the two of you was my biological son.
I see. Well,
Wait,
based
are you
on
talking
just
to me?
racial profiling, none of it matters. And a lot of people listen to podcasts exclusively and would never see you revealing yourself as our token old white man. The reason we wanted Professor Andy Burstein on the podcast here is that this is 2026, the weird 250th anniversary of America, and Andy is a premier early American historian.
How did I not know that?
I don't know.
You don't watch
I
C-SPAN.
sorted past. Yeah, you don't watch book notes on C-SPAN much.
I don't know if I have access to C-SPAN anymore.
Though you might see a fresher-faced Andy in the Ken Burns documentary, Thomas Jefferson, which would be a great watch before reading Being Thomas Jefferson. Fresh history right here. This is the book. The book is coming out this year.
So the plugs are happening up top.
Magnum opus of a tome about THJ.
Well, thank you for joining us, Andy. It's nice to officially meet you.
You too.
I'd say
Cool.
I've heard so much about you, but I feel bad that I didn't know about your book till 2 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought Josh was embarrassed by me, but evidently he's helping to promote my new book. So I can't be all bad.
Absolutely not. That's incredible.
Royalties are inheritance, so I have a vested interest in your success here with this new book. But let's try out the first question, which is about someone who will never be president legally. Zoran Mamdani was sworn in as NYC's mayor after midnight on January 1st in the historic subway station below City Hall. So, a statue of this early American figure was removed from NYC City Hall in 2021 due to his ties to slavery. Who was this American figure? Does the historian know something has happened this millennium? Oh, okay. Well, then let us guess before you throw it out there. New York, Knickerbocker, City Hall, royalty. It wouldn't be Hamilton because they sure love him.
Yeah.
Thanks to a very, very inaccurate Broadway show.
I didn't see any inaccuracies.
Read my book.
Like that back then. Are you just going to say that periodically throughout the episode?
No.
Who pitched for the Montreal Expos? Read my book.
Read my book.
I'm a humble historian. That wasn't a hint.
No. I'm thinking out loud as we often do, especially when I don't have an answer.
I don't think there's a reason Andrew Jackson would have been in New York City Hall. I feel like it might have been a governor.
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a hint. All right. He was in New York City in 1791, 92, but not 93.
Does make sense.
What happened in 93? Did he leave or did he die?
He gets out offed. And apparently he knows his dates because he studied this history.
I feel very stumped.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're
It's
on the
'cause we're
team,
rusty?
so just give us the answer. What do you think it is?
Well, I don't think I know, because I was one of the signatories to this to this movement before the leaders of New York City decided to do this, and I'll explain why. It was Thomas Jefferson who was removed. Now, the reason I and many other professional historians opposed removing the statue was because this was a statue from 1834. The statues that we question, that we find obnoxious, are those statues that were erected after the Civil War, during Jim Crow, while Jefferson's legacy as an owner of human property is properly the subject of popular and academic discussion, and it's important in my work as well. A statue, a few years after he died in 1826. He died on the 50th anniversary of the
July
signing
4th,
of the Declaration
along with
of
John
Independence.
Adams.
Yeah, two of them.
America's Jubilee. The most obnoxious statues to Southerners, to slaveholders, were erected in the period after the Civil War, and especially after the 1880s into the early 20th century. So I and many other historians distinguished between those statues and the ones that reflect the Jim Crow spirit, if you want to call it that.
So what's your take then on removing statues? It's that if the statue was made post-Civil War, it's for spite, and if it was before it, it's historical?
That's a good question, but not strictly. I mean, context always matters to a historian. And I would say that because Richmond went through this, they have their, Monument Avenue. I think the best way to look at this is that we have to acknowledge that most of the early presidents and the so-called founding generation, the Southerners were slave holders. And Alexander Hamilton, living in New York, owned a few slaves. So even though the economy of New York did not require unpaid labor, Hamilton was not necessarily opposed to slavery. And this is one of the reasons why Lin Miranda's wonderful Broadway show is historically inaccurate, because Hamilton not only looked down on immigrants.
Sure about that?
Well, no, the whole thing is that Burr is like the, immigration hero and fighting for, the little guy. And this guy would have been
the real question, though, I mean, is it legal for you to be teaching us this in 2026? Are we not allowed to be talking about this?
Yeah, I should hope so.
Is this CRT?
Here's something Jefferson said in 1774 when he was first going up against the king. The whole art of government consists in the art of being honest. Now, that's an optimist, because we've seen politicians, and honesty isn't the first word that comes to mind when we think of partisan politics. So what we admire about people like Jefferson was that in their time, in the context of their time, they recognized the dilemma. I describe Jefferson, for example, as a timid abolitionist. He wanted other people to take the lead. He didn't want to sacrifice his reputation among Virginians, among the people of the ruling class.
/ he was in a mountain of debt.
Yeah, he was in a mountain of debt, which he had inherited from his father-in-law, most of it. But he didn't lift a finger to emancipate anyone who wasn't biologically related to him, though he never confessed to this. But his mentor, the man who made a lawyer out of him, was George Wythe, who's also a signer of the Declaration. And Wythe, who was a judge, who was professor of law at William and Mary, where Jefferson attended, was an ardent abolitionist. So such people existed. And the best thing we could say about Jefferson in this regard is that production of tobacco and wheat, export products from America, would never be sufficient to pay off the debts he inherited. He could have done so shortly after his father-in-law died, and he came into possession of Sally Hemings and her extended family. And I think it was over 100 enslaved men and women. He could have done something, but he held on to the land. He lived large and lived well.
Self-interested, but was doing the grandstanding. And I guess what I want to understand from you here is you are pro keeping Jefferson statues, full stop. Are you also pro listening still to R. Kelly songs and Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I never did. And, you know me well enough that you know that Woodstock is current events to me. So, no, the music I listen to that's of the 21st century is mostly stuff that Josh has turned me on to.
Did you read Bill Cosby's parenting book when you raised me? Wow. I feel like we need to move on to question 2. And here it is.
Well,
I think we do, Josh. Speaking of beloved people from the 90s, George and Amal Clooney have been granted French citizenship after living in southern France for years. The province region where they live is known for its rolling fields of this flower.
I think we're talking about Provence, right?
Yes.
The Provence region. Yes.
Thank you.
Also read province.
Yeah.
It's fine. I was thinking Rhode Island. So, okay, Provence.
I'm still in vacation mode. I'm not reading.
Are we talking tulips? Are we getting real granular? Is it something weird? We've got a field of daisies. Professor Burstein, Thomas Jefferson also went over to Francophile land. Did anything you got a stab in the dark?
I'm not, nor was I ever, a professor of botany. Jefferson mostly scoured the French countryside for the vineyards. I can't even pronounce that word, O-E-N, oenophile.
Alcohol?
Yeah, no.
Booze
A
hound.
wine lover.
Yeah.
A wine lover.
Okay.
And he went as far as Germany to investigate wines.
Chasing that vino. Okay.
And part of the reason why he was in debt was when he was president, you didn't get paid much to be president in those days.
That's why you got to build your own currency, your own meme coins.
Yeah. No, but he imported lots and lots of wine from France and served it to the Congress people he entertained week by week. He kind of went into debt as president. He didn't make money as president because you're not supposed to.
Great. So you're telling me you have nothing to offer for this question. So I'm going to go
sunflowers.
Tulip.
I'm going to guess sunflower.
Okay. That's a good guess. We all get to chip in one. So you got a sunflower, you got a tulip. What are you feeling, Mr. Pierre?
To name a flower, huh? I'll say lilies.
Lilies. Well.
Oh, yes. Fleur de lis. Maybe you're onto something.
That's how I was thinking.
The correct answer is lavender.
I hate lavender.
I don't even think of it, it's just such a color imbued. But region's association with the flower dates back to the Roman Empire. I'm sure it was pretty cool to roll up on that when you were conquering it. Okay, question 3. As far as victors, Indiana beat Alabama Roll Tide 38-3 in this year's Rose Bowl game. Have been to a couple Rose Bowls. I can say for a fact, Wisconsin is not the answer to this question. Which college team has made the most Rose Bowl game appearances? Michigan, Ohio State.
So
Notre Dame?
So tell me, Josh, and Andy, I don't know if you're a football guy either. Like, for as little as I know about NFL, I know even less about college because my school didn't have a team.
So Josh, you think it's Big Ten, not Pac-10?
So this is exactly what I wanted to ask. all I know about the Rose Bowl is that it's on New Year's Day. But like, can any team end up there, or is this like a regional? Like, how do you end up at the Rose Bowl?
That's a great question, and that's actually a great tip from Andy, because the thing is the whole playoff system has been a mess, but traditionally the Rose Bowl was one of 4 big final games between the biggest conferences of the Big Ten, which is now Big 18, and then the Pac-10, which I think would have had USC, and USC had some really, really good years. So that might
That's
be
what
a
I
good
was thinking.
guess. With
I was thinking of USC.
you're thinking O.J. Simpson.
I was thinking OJ, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I met him the year he won the Heisman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's pre-murder. Yeah.
Did you gift him some gloves? What happened? Some isotoners?
I was, you know, in art class in high school, I painted a picture of him that was on Sports Illustrated. And for some reason, I was enamored with him. I was a perennial second string quarterback, you know. Yeah, I was the perennial second string quarterback. I got in, you know, when we were 30 points ahead or 30 points behind. My football heroes were O.J. Simpson and some of the New York Giants, because they used to come to my high school, like to the athletic banquet and perform for us. And that was always fun. Fran Tarkenton, I met him. You don't remember him, right?
He
like
played for the Steelers. He had the immaculate reception, right?
No, what? No,
I'm thinking about somebody else.
Fran Tarkenton was
QB.
Was a scrambling quarterback in the 60s, and he played for the Giants, but he's probably better known for playing for the Vikings.
Okay, so you created a piece of artwork about OJ, though. I still don't understand how you got to meet him.
Oh, no, he was going to be making an appearance, signing autographs, whatever, in Columbus Circle in New York City.
Oh, nice.
That makes more sense.
And yeah, so I took the train down. It was actually the boat show, the New York boat show. I'm hydrophobic, so you can't find me in a boat, but he was going to be there. So I went down and paid, whatever $3.50 it took to get in. And I asked him a question.
It cost you a lot more.
Now, were your childhood football heroes O.J. Simpson and Aaron Hernandez, or who else we got there?
Well, when you were growing up, we were all into, you're still into the 49ers. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice.
All day.
Yeah.
Steve Young.
The question I asked OJ was, your first name is Orenthal. Does anybody call you Orenthal? And he said, only my mother, no one else is allowed to call me that. So that was my brief encounter with O.J. Simpson.
I think he agrees with DK Metcalf. If you call him by his first name, you're going to get punched in the face from the sidelines. That just happened like 2 weeks ago. Well, that doesn't help us with the Rose Bowl.
I
forgot. That is good color. I'm going to say Andy's vote is for USC. I'm going to put in for Michigan Wolverines. What do you think?
Can Notre Dame go there?
Yeah, go try it. Well, Andy's right. It's USC.
Wow.
34 appearances, 25 wins. That is
pretty incredible.
Good call. They had a good run. And oh man, that Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, that was like my college era. That was really exciting.
I was watching for Reggie Bush for a minute there, actually.
Yeah. He was out of control. And he had a great, kind of a gadget career in the NFL too. But yeah, that's it, folks. It's time for our shots round. Cheers! You got a nice little Grenache or something, Andy. Go.
I forgot about that. Yeah. It's in the other room.
This is a fine Pechuga mezcal that I brought back from Mexico City. But Jameson works too. Anything. But just like a real trivia night, this is the audience's chance to shout out the answers in the comments. And if you're right, you just might win something special.
Now, did we ever end up answering last week's question?
Last year's question? No.
Last year.
The last year question was, which country has the most lakes? Professor, do you have a guess?
Which country has the most lakes? Well, Russia is one possibility.
That is a big country.
Yeah, I know it doesn't Minnesota have 10,000 lakes, but that's not a country, right?
Not yet.
Yeah, and you know what? They're so braggy about that, but there's more than 10,000 lakes in Wisconsin. Wisconsin has more lakes than Minnesota, but they're just like, we're gonna
What?
own this. You just don't have to brag about it, you know? They got so many other
The
good things
people
in
in both
Wisconsin.
Minnesota and Wisconsin are ridiculously nice.
It is true, you know?
They're
Even
almost
if it's a hot
Canadians,
dish
they're so
country or a
nice.
casserole country, it's all pretty nice.
I went on a canoe trip at the Boundary Waters, so I was in Minnesota,
Mm,
and
gorgeous.
I always just tell people when I was at the Minneapolis St. Paul airport, I watched a guy get arrested in front of the Prince store because he was like blackout drunk. And it was just a wonderful scene. The cops were like, "Well, you're not getting on your flight today, so you can get arrested, or you can call someone to come pick you up, and you can try again tomorrow." And he was like, "Oh man, I can't believe it." Did this."
Well, he didn't get to have his revolution there, but that also tracks because everybody is extremely drunk in that area. So I will say the prize here is don't drink this delicious conditioner from Alpine Provisions, which gets you maybe hair, much like Julius Burstein. You can't buy that. That's jeans, but you can get some cedar and sandalwood, some really delightful stuff that's all natural. It's
That's a
weird,
good looking bottle.
isn't it? It's good. It's a tank, you know, it's a
If you're listening,
silo.
it's got like a art class in-depth sketch of an owl.
Yeah, they're all different crazy psychedelic animals, like your spirit animal, your spirit shampoo. And the correct answer was Canada. Canada's got those lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Antarctica maybe once the ice caps melt for sure.
I had the right latitude, not
Yeah,
a
you're on
country.
it. This week's question for you to win this bottle of goo, good goo, is what is the smallest U.S. state capital by land? More geometry,
Now,
geology,
Andy, if you know that, don't
geography.
say it.
Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah, I
No,
eventually did
That
say
I'm
it.
sounds like
just
something you'd
here.
know.
Yeah, I'm just here because I think you need to boost your boomer audience.
Yeah, we were really trying to broaden our reach on TikTok, so we thought we'd bring in the septuagenarian. But our question for us is about my dad's favorite show, Stranger Things. The finale dropped on Netflix New Year's Eve. I really hope that wasn't how you spent your New Year's Eve, but I did watch it afterwards. And it completes this series after almost a decade after it first premiered. These little middle schoolers are getting their AARP cards. The show often featured this popular tabletop role-playing game. I, of course, know this, but I'm curious if you know this, Professor Burstein.
I know the answer as
Tabletop
well.
role-playing game made popular in the late 70s and 80s.
Now,
No
Andy,
bells,
do
nothing?
you was that serious, Josh? Andy, do you watch the show?
No.
Did you ever watch it?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 seasons, which I think was like 25 years ago, I want to say.
That should be enough for you to know this part, though.
I know
It
the
was
answer.
pretty integral. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll throw it out there then and pick up some time here. The correct answer is D&D, Dungeons and Dragons.
Dunkin' and Donuts.
You had the constitution for that and roll a nat 20 next time in your life.
I thought tabletop meant like a board game.
It is on a
Yeah.
table. It's, it's
That's
not
not a
like
board.
Trouble or something
It's
where you got little.
electronic, right?
It's in the mind. I think you'd actually like it. It uses your imagination. Really, in the box is just guidelines to kind of help folks get started. But ultimately, you can build your own quest and just do some fun explorations with your friends.
It's still going hard. I know people that play that like pretty regularly.
It really got a resurgence in COVID because there was not as many things to do with friends that would work over Zoom, but this was pretty portable. And there's been some really talented voice actors that have found, like thanks to Twitch and other things, ways to, showcase these improv stories that are really exciting and cool, and they really just throw themselves at it, and people enjoy it. So
I was unbeatable at Pong.
Yeah,
that was my last electronic experience. Yeah.
You also
Yeah.
were good at ping pong. You were a Marty
Yeah.
Supreme type.
Kid.
No, I think, you would like Dungeons and Dragons because you could literally be in like a, steampunk early American world where you have to stop a assassin from stopping the signing of the Declaration. Like it can literally be anything, and it's just you and your friends trying to save
Is
the
that
day.
the premise of Assassin's Creed, the revolutionary one?
My gosh, maybe I did just give them their next one, their next AAA game, but yeah.
Could I pretend that this appeals to me?
No, but I'm going to give
Never.
you the next question, which will theoretically appeal to you. You have 7 half seconds to answer this. 2026 marks 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Benjamin Franklin favored what bird over the bald eagle as a national bird of the United States?
Want me to
I know
say?
this one.
Yeah.
Let's hear Alan's take.
Oh, fuck. You both know it. You know what? By the way, when I chose
I
this
got it
as
through
a
osmosis, by the
category,
way.
I didn't know that there was a history professor with a novel coming out when I chose this. This isn't fair. Benjamin Franklin favored what bird over the bald eagle? Swan. A bluebird.
I thought you were going to
try.
go cardinal, but
No, because we would have known that that would have been like a thing growing up if that was the
sure.
answer.
The correct answer is wild turkey.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Yeah. Now, why wild turkey?
Because they're delicious?
No. He found nobility in the simple common turkey. I'll give you a quick history lesson. This one's kind of more fun than Jefferson on slavery.
What could be more fun?
Although it involves the great emancipator, Lincoln. You know why we have turkey on Thanksgiving? It's because
we had a really nice dinner with the Pilgrims and the Native Americans together, and they had a really big meal, and they shook hands, and they said, "We'll just share this land," and it was the birth
Here's
of
a
America.
cute sublitter agreement. Like, let's be roomies.
I'm afraid that the only extant source for that first Thanksgiving was from 1621, and it says we went out a fowling, FOWL, but it wasn't turkey. It was
Pheasant?
Pheasant, partridge, something. It was Abraham Lincoln who made Thanksgiving a national holiday. He was encouraged to do so by a female magazine editor, Sarah Josepha Hale, who thought, as he thought, it would be a way of bringing the sections together and sort of finding a harmonious whole in a country that had been torn apart by slavery. At the same time, as I understand it, the turkey industry was just getting underway and needing help. So the recommendation to have turkey at Thanksgiving was sort of a commercial advertisement concurrent with the national the decision to make Thanksgiving a national holiday.
Genius.
I did think it was something about like, how do we scale? Like, we can't have these like nice little chickens for 8. Like, we got to do something with this big ass bird. And the same way, like, bacon got, went from being the scraps to being the delicacy, or lobsters or anything. But that's good. That's how you get
happy accidents,
bland bird.
Well, I guess not accidents.
Let's carry this through to the lightning round, courtesy of Ben Franklin, and have some questions that are made for you, Andy. We're going to be back in 2026 vibes soon, but this is all about American founders, and these are maybe tough enough that you might get only 2 for 3, but we'll find out. Thomas Jefferson, our third president, is credited with making what dish popular after serving it at a White House dinner in 1802?
He did introduce ice cream, so that's a dessert.
Did he bring that over from France?
Yeah, that was that. Yeah,
he was like, "This is grilled. Check this out. Look what we do with this cow."
Yeah,
that's cool.
But
it looked a lot cooler before it melted 4 weeks ago.
I think he also served pasta, which of Italian origin. I'm trying to think if there's something else. Ice cream's the only one that I know for certain that he helped to bring over. Jefferson, by the way, didn't eat very much meat at all. He says he had meat as a side dish. He mostly ate vegetables. His favorite vegetable were peas. He grew 39 varieties of peas.
Nerd?
Yeah, why should I even know
Well,
this?
thanks to
No, not you,
Monsanto, we
Thomas
get
Jefferson.
one pea now.
Oh,
That's all you
okay.
get.
No.
One corn, one pea.
No, knowing
all.
history is cool. Eating peas as the main course and thinking that like your turkey on the side is a side dish, can't get behind that. That's my problem with Thomas
Sounds like a
Jefferson.
Mediterranean diet and also scarcity, but yeah. I
No,
mean,
he introduced
we all know
French
you get a
cuisine
buffalo, you
in
can
the
only
White
take
House.
5 pounds home. The correct answer, macaroni and cheese. So I think you're right on that pasta game.
Yeah.
Pasta.
And specifically, Quizliz says macaroni and cheese.
Is mac and cheese pasta? Do you consider it pasta?
Sure. What's the mac if not pasta?
If I was going to, close down the French Laundry just to have dinner by myself there and see on the menu macaroni and cheese, I would assume that is pasta. I would say it's just, it sounds beneath, but I'm sure there's some elevated, Michelin restaurant that serves macaroni and cheese.
Wait, yeah, and I feel like I've had elevated. Wait, there was a place in I'm not going to remember it, Josh. There was a place in LA where people would go that they were always talking about like a bacon truffle mac and cheese that was like really expensive. I don't remember.
You can make anything expensive in LA, especially, and you can put a line in front of it.
That's the hustler's motto. You can make anything expensive. I like that.
Question 2. Who is the only president to have 2 vice presidents pass away while in office? This is James Taylor to
Madison.
you. James Madison is correct. And do you think he did it?
No. Elbridge Gerry was an old man, and George Clinton might even have been older.
And a time traveler.
Yeah, that's Elbridge Gerry, from whom we get the word gerrymander.
Yes.
It was pronounced
gerrymander.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Baton Rouge. You don't want to, you just call it gerrymandering. It's not gerrymandering. While Mount Vernon is known for distilling rye whiskey, what was the secondary beverage distilled by George Washington?
Beer. In early Virginia, in colonial Virginia, they couldn't drink the waters fermented. I mean, there was apple cider, right? And there was beer. So on the table, they very often served alcohol as the main beverage.
The secondary beverage is, in fact, fruit brandies, such as apple or peach.
Okay. Well, what they really like to drink at the planters' homes in Virginia was Madeira, Portuguese Madeira. That was Madison's favorite, I know. Rum was drunk by most Americans until around 1817, 1819, which was also the point of the highest alcohol was being drunk in America. But it was around that
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was around that time that rum was replaced with whiskey as the most popular alcoholic beverage.
Not just for pirates.
Late colonial America, it was rum punch.
Well, it also makes a lot more sense to your point that we don't just get tap water and still and sparkling at the table. So it's like, get this booze, because poisoning yourself with alcohol is the healthiest way to not get a parasite.
Exactly. So everyone, make sure you drink with every meal to stay safe. Annie, we're at the end, and you listen to the show. So how do you feel like we did? How is that like compared to other ones that you've heard?
Well, I always think I talk too much. I would have preferred to listen to the two of you more.
You're a natural.
You're a wealth of stories. You have some context about William Wirt's work in the Revolutionary era that somehow goes into French brandy conversation. So, yeah. Credit to you for...
You can't just leave it at that, because nobody knows who William Wirt is. He was...
And we'll leave it at that. I don't... No, we've run out of time.
Why do you want that, Josh?
He wrote... can I say it? I'm going to say it. Yeah.
As long as you weave in a plug for your new book.
Okay. He wrote a very popular biography of Patrick Henry, the most famous lines from Patrick Henry that he may or may not have ever spoken, give me liberty or give me death, because historians and biographers weren't exactly truthful if they could more colorfully present the narrative. They did so.
Paul Revere didn't ride
and
two horses at the same time while dual-wielding muskets across
That was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Doing the
and
splits on
also, but William Wirt was the longest-serving Attorney General in U.S. history. And the title of my new book is Being Thomas Jefferson, An Intimate History, published by Bloomsbury, and it comes out on January 13th, 2026. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we got to jump on that train of like getting a holiday like mixed with a tradition, so we can just start saying like, oh, every January, everyone should pick up Being Thomas Jefferson and listen to an episode of Trivial. It's Jan 6th tomorrow. Well, it would have passed by now. So
to
if you need something to celebrate, once again, Annie, thank you so much for joining. That was crazy. This is a surprise for the listeners at home. Josh didn't tell me that his dad was going to be on.
Thanks,
I don't
Dad.
think I could ever.
Thanks for always being a good sport. And honestly, I give you enough gruff, but this is a really, really good book worth people's time. And it is your magnum opus of a prolific career writing history, and it is for the moment. Also, really an astute read. So don't just save it for Father's Day. You might want to pick it up yourself.
Love you, John.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to get some Cat Stevens playing as we come out of this episode. But no, that is the show, folks. We'll end on that tender moment. Please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you choose to podcast. Thank you to Connor Linneruth for our clips, our trivia director. As always, shout out Quiz Liz. And thank you, the listener. See you next week.
Remember, question everything.